everything is going to go okay right now. This time we are on the point of view of Mr. Yo. Taking a look at the civilizations first, it's going to be Mongols, Celts, Spanish, and Aztecs. The exact same thing has been picked right here by the NaBs boys team, so the Aztecs was the one that it was missing. I'm going to assume it's because of their very strong monks, because of the relics as well, because they're not really one of the most powerful late Imperial civs, if I'm not mistaken, but I guess the monks are going to be doing the trick right here. We're on the point of view of Mr. Yo. Mr. Yo is going to be supported by the pocket that is Lix, playing with Spanish, so the same civilization for the same player. On the other pocket on the left side is going to be Joffrey. Joffrey went for Celts. He's playing with a green color, and he will be supporting the Aztecs player. That's Hingua, Love Cheng. And he has spawned very close to Loiza here, if I'm not mistaken. Loiza goes straight ahead for the walls. I guess we'll take a look at that in just a minute. Or is this going to be a sneak attempt right here by Loiza? Looks like it is. Or is he just going to try and wall a little bit further ahead? I'm not sure. Will he just try to hide this villager? No, he's not going to try and hide the village. He's just going to wall a little bit further ahead in order to get that gold. I think that's what is going to happen here. He won't be facing much of an opposition here from Hingua, at least not so far. The walls are going to go in his direction. He's got Loom, of course. He's Aztecs. But anyway, let's try to take a look at the positions. Loiza is going to be supported by 8th Wonder, playing as Celts. On the other side of the team, we've got Spanish, played by Northern Pike. He's playing with a teal color. And at the very right side of the map, we've got Zupi playing as the Mongols. Looks like Zupi have got a very nice wall right here, as forward as it gets. Very good walls have been made here by Zupi. On the other hand, looks like Yo is going to try to go for the very forward walls as well. So forward that it's almost on Pike's base. I do hope for him that he can actually see this. Let me go into his point of view. I wonder, what is his scout? He's got no idea what's happening right here. His scout is so far away. He's got no idea what's happening right here. And if this wall goes up, that means that Loiza would be pretty much separated from the rest of his team. Zupi, that is, I'm sorry. That means Zupi would be separated from his team. And at this point, I don't see much opposition from Pike here. He's got no clue what is happening here. That wall is going to go up, that's for sure. That means he's going to be denied of a couple of resources as well. He will have only one boar. The ones he was trying to bring before, yeah, they're forwarding they're flaring very forward. But he does not realize that he's actually not going to be able to get that. The wall is just about to be completed. There it is. There is still a connection right here from this side. I do hope for the NaBs boys team that they get to see this on time. Meanwhile, I'm trying to take a look at what is happening here on the left side. The walls went up for Loiza. Very good walls on this left side. What about this part right here? He's going to try and wall it. Wonder on very low HP when it comes to his scouts. He needs to go back. Loiza still has got a very, very good Eagle Warrior on full HP so far. So that could be the fight that he wants to take. Maybe taking an extra villager would be a good idea. Getting these walls up would be so important for him, I feel like. That means that the left side would be in a very strong position. It would be very hard for the Chinese team to try to wall behind this. Trying to understand if Pike has now realized what had just happened in his base. I think he still does not know. He will suspect this because he will understand at some point that the scout is going to go crazy in order to get to his TC. The walls here are completed by Zupi. These are good walls as well, but I do wonder what is going to happen right here. They need to avoid... Yeah, they need to avoid that the Chinese team managed to keep them separated from Loiza. And they need to avoid that any walling takes place somewhere around here, because that would mean that Zupi would be completely separated from his team. So far, they're doing the right thing. Is this a villager? Is this a villager? Yes, it is. And it's quite a forward villager here by Lix. He's not interested in walling so far. He is going to wall. Oh, I'm not sure I like this. I'm not sure I like this for the NaBs boys team. Nothing is there to try to stop them. The wall is gonna go up, and that means if this wall goes up, yeah, that means with this wall right here from the Chinese team, that means that Zupi is indeed going to be completely separated from his team. So nice job here by the Chinese team, thinking a lot ahead. Very tough spot here for the NaBs boys team. I feel like there's even a villager here that is probably going to sneak or just stay there in order to wall a little bit more. A pike is now flaring right there, but I'm not sure he's going to be. I guess his scout is on the outside, but there's no way they can get there. Actually, the wall went up. The walls here are done as well, so they are inside Chinese walls. It's going to be really hard right now for the NaBs team, for the NaBs boys team, to do anything meaningful in this early phase of the game. Looks like the scout from Mr. Yu is going to die very soon. Pike is going to be able to take it, and we'll try to follow what is this villager from Mr. Yu going to do. Yet not interested in sneaking as far as I can see, or maybe he is. He's walling from the inside, so maybe a sneak is going to take place here. Little bit unfortunate this start for the NaBs boys team so far. A very hysterical flaring going up here. Anyway, it looks like Zupi was able to sort of get away with his villagers. He won't have a chance to have help from his teammates, though. They're completely walled off. As far as I can see, he can wall this if he wants to, but there will still be an opening somewhere around here. And those walls are not very forward either, so it could be a very hard time. Let's try to keep track of what this team is going to try to do. Maybe slinging Zupi would be an option. I don't know. Anyway, Mr. Yu was trying to sneak. The sneak has been detected by Zupi, so that means he won't be able to do anything. The best he can do at this point is just try to lame these deer. That's exactly what he's going to do. One of them is down. He will be able to take one or two more for sure. I guess they realized it now that the walls really did not go in their favor. I guess if Zupi manages to get a wall laid down there, it's going to be really hard. He's going to be fighting a couple of scouts, and that's it. The scout is going to be able to kill this villager, I feel like. Now, even though, well, it could be a tough fight. Let's see. It would be so important for Zupi to actually get that villager alive, and he manages to do that. Doing these walls here could help him a little bit. That would mean that only Mr. Yu would have access to him, at least direct access. He is going to try to do the walls. If there's still a scout alive, yeah, unfortunately for him, there's still Hinggua's scout alive, and he will be able to spot it for sure. And that is going to be the GG for this villager here from Zupi, I'm afraid. They're so close, and this would be enough line of sight for Hinggua to see this villager, and by doing that, he will be able to stop the walling here. Let me go into his point of view. Looks like he's being a little bit blind so far. Where exactly is it? Yeah, he can clearly see it. There he goes. He's not gonna allow Zupi to wall that, and that's it. GG for this villager right there. That means this path is still open from this side of the Chinese team. That means everybody has got access to Zupi. I feel like Zupi will have a very, very tough game in hands right here. Let's see if he manages to do the best out of it. Taking a look at the up times, looks like Hinggua was the first one to go up. He's playing as Aztecs. Let me try to understand what is he going to do. Let me go into his point of view. I'm right there already. Does not look like a fast castle build order so far. I do feel like he's trying to do it, but it just does not feel like he's got enough resources to go up. He could have used this bond right here, chose not to do so. Still a lot of flaring going on here for the Chinese team. I think they realized that they did a very good job. They acknowledged that there's something here blocking them, but the other way is still completely open, so they can still take this way right here into Zupi's base. Well, I would assume that the villager from Mr. Yu was sniped down. There it is. I would assume that's the villager that went down. And once more, I'm very sorry, guys, if I'm missing a lot of action. It's really hard to keep track of a 4v4. I'm going to do my best to keep an eye on the mini-map, but there's really a lot of stuff happening right now. I'm still on the point of view of Hinggua. Indeed, he's going for a fast castle build order. And taking a look at his resources now, it's not hard to understand that indeed he had enough resources to go up to fast castle. He will be able to do so at least. Okay, I do wonder how did Pike did this? How did Pike get there with a villager? Was he able to break something here? How the hell was he able to do that? I thought that this was completely closed. Let me once more take a look. Yeah, I thought this was completely closed. I do wonder how did Pike do this? How did he manage to get out of there? Anyway, nice job for him. I guess we will see this now. How did he do it? Not so far. He wants to stay there so far. Bringing in a couple of villagers forward is Hingwa here. Let's try to understand exactly what he wants to go with them. He could try to siege somebody, and unfortunately for Pike, I'm afraid that they will run into each other, and two villagers are going to be stronger than a scout that is good as dead. Of course, this is very good. This is very good. That would mean that that Pike and Zupi are going to be at the same spot. They can help each other, but that means that he needs to complete one more layer of stone wall, and he will be good. Nice job here by Pike. I'm still left wondering how exactly he got there. I'm probably being really stupid right now. I'm so sorry, but I don't see. How did he go there? How did he get a villager there? He didn't break any walls around here. Maybe he went all the way. No, he does not have any access to Zupi, so he did not go through Zupi's side. So once more, I'm very sorry about this, guys. I wasn't able to spot how exactly was Pike to get that villager freed. First one to reach Castle Age is going to be Wonder. Let's try to understand what exactly is he going to do. We've got a market and we've got a blacksmith. No gold is being collected. That shows us it's going to be a pure boom build order. Pure boom. There's no army going to take place here from Wonder. Would be interesting to see how exactly is Zupi going to react from this. I will go into the point of view of Mongols. That is going to be Mr. Yo. And is he going to rush or not? At this point, I don't see anything that indicates that. He's going for a stone wall, so looks like he wants to just boom as well. Do keep in mind that the stone walls are going to be quite in the back for him. So these are very good walls for Zupi at this point. And looks like the NaBs team, the Nadia's Boys team, was able to make the best out of a very tough spot, very tough situation. Pike coming in to save the day with that sneaky villager. On this side could still be quite dangerous though. It looks to me like Hingwa could be trying to go for a monk rush. I will go into his point of view. He's got a lot of villagers on gold. Most of the times that does indicate that someone is going for a monk rush. I'm quite sure he was aiming to go for a monk rush somewhere around here, probably on Pike even. But due to this amazing thing by Pike, he won't be able to do that. Two wolves or tigers in this case trying to block Hingwa here. Nothing major is going to happen with that though. He will be able to drop a couple of monasteries. First one on the way. Siege workshop at some point will need to be done as well in order to get a very effective smush, the so-called smush, siege and monk rush. And by the looks of things, he will be trying to go here for Loiza. Loiza is sort of expecting this. He's trying to wall behind like a maniac. And by doing that, he might actually save himself very easily because indeed he got very good walls. He's got very forward walls as well. And we'll try to understand what is he doing. Yeah, he got no villagers on gold as far as I can see. So he himself is aiming for a pure boom game. And if Hingwa does not manage to do any decent damage, he could be in a very tough spot. Eagle Warrior from Loiza coming in into 4+3 Eagle Warrior, so he will be able to kill both those villagers. Nice job by Loiza here. I do wonder how did he do it too? How did he get that villager Eagle Warrior right there? Anyway, nicely done. Spotted the forward here by Hingwa, managed to get the two villagers, and that means this monk rush could be already condemned to failure from the very beginning. We'll try to take a look at what is happening here on the left side. Looks like this is going to be a castle drop. Very good idea, in my opinion. Very good idea here by the NaBs team. Looks like they would try to push from this side. They will try to push Yo. We'll go into its point of view and see if he can actually see what is happening there. He can see. I'm not sure he realizes it, but he can see what is going on from that side. And a push right here would be really effective because there's really not much that you could do to stop it at this point at least. Yeah, I think you just saw it. I think you just saw it. Yep, he's sending a couple more villages forward to try and double Stonewall this here. But it's going to be really hard to keep doing it when you have a castle just on your nose. And he's just flaring his teammates, letting them know that he's got something to do here. He's got a difficult task into his hands. He wasn't able to get a very decent forward wall, so he will be in a hard spot here, I feel like. Let's try to understand what are the other people doing on this side, on his team. One of the villagers goes down. He's not able to complete all the walls. Pike is there with a scout. He can't do too much with it because he's only got 5 HP. I guess he will be doing a petard. Let me go into his point of view. No, he's doing conquistadors first. What about Zupi? He's got a lot of villagers on stone, no villager on gold. That means pure boom as well from him. So as far as I can see, everybody on the NaBs team is going for a boom. Only Pike trying to rush a little bit here. Lix, the player playing as Spanish, is going for a pure boom as well. Keld with Market Blacksmith, pure boom as well. And only Lix was the first one trying to be a little bit aggressive. Got denied, but that Eagle Warrior from Loiza, incredibly well done by Loiza there. He's massing those walls over here as well, making sure he won't be attacked, at least not in Castle Age. I do feel like this is the time where Pike wants to get a petard going, because he's delaying his boom a little bit too much by doing this and not doing any damage whatsoever. Mr. Yo trying to be proactive, laying down a couple of stone rods right here at the back of his base. Needs to do something similar around here, and this is where his teammate comes in with a couple of villagers laying down a castle right there. Very good option as well. I feel like the castle could go a little bit further forward, because that means this castle is going to be this TC right here from Mr. Yo could eventually go down if Pike really wants to be very aggressive. One of the stone walls is gone. There's only one layer left as far as I can see. The petard needs to be done, or actually two. Taking a look at what's Hingwa doing here, it looks like he didn't give up completely on his push. He's bringing a couple of monks right here all the way across the map. And that means that this is actually so well done. That means he is the one that is going to take care of the push from Pike. I like this a lot. That means he won't be too delayed after all the walls have been deleted. Looks like the path is clear for Pike to just run in. There's going to be a TC preventing him from just walking in straight ahead. And no big damage will be able to be done here. I'm afraid for Pike. It was a little bit too late with those conquistadors. Not really much he could have done differently. The TC is going to be enough to take care of those conquistadors, and when those monks get there, they will be more than enough to make sure that Mr. Yo is going to be completely safe. Taking a look at the booms, so far looks like Jeffrey is having an incredibly good boom, closely followed by Wonder with 62 villagers. Only 2 villagers behind, so both Keld players seem to be doing really well so far. Mr. Yo and Zubi seem to be quite close as well. Only Pike, obviously, a little bit delayed because he's the one pushing. And I'm a bit afraid for him that he does not manage to do any kind of decent damage. He will put himself very much behind. Because even considering that the other Spanish player that's going to be Lix, he's going for conquistadors as well. But as far as I can see, he's got a much better boom going on. That's 10 villagers advantage when comparing to Pike. Anyway, he managed to close that. He managed to kill that wall. Trying to run in from this side. And there's the monks right there. I'm not sure he can see them. Yeah, he can see them. He's going to try to get a villager. Was not able to do so. Wants to make sure that he keeps all of his conquistadors alive. But this is really awesome team communication between the Chinese team. Hingwa knew he couldn't do anything on Loiza, so went all the way across the map to make sure that his teammate is going to stay safe and there's nothing wrong that is going to happen to him. A couple of monks from Mr. Yo as well. These are going to be enough, I feel like, to deal with a push from Pike. Gotta pause here. Hopefully, no drop. I will go. Yeah, let me just make sure that I'm back in the game room. Nope, no drop. Thank God, no drop. Everything is still going fine. No villager has been killed so far by Mr. Yo, so really nicely done. He's been really fast reacting to this push from Pike. Pike only with a couple of conquistadors, but those conquistadors are going to cost him economically a little bit. You can take a look at the difference of villagers, still increasing and increasing between him and the other Spanish player, that's Lix. We can take a look at his economy. He's got 1 TC. He's got only 2 TCs. He definitely needs a third one very fast. The third one is on the way as far as I can see. What about Lix? Lix has got 1, he's got 3. He's got 3 TCs. Looks like a 4th one is going up. So he's going to be behind when it comes to the boom, that's for sure. Everybody in the game room. Everybody in the game room. No drop so far. Let's just keep it this way, boys. And there goes the first villager. Nice job here by Pike. Cannot do much more because the monks are there. The TC is there for Mr. Yo as well. There's really not much he can do. Looks like he's going to give up on that push. Maybe try to do it somewhere else. I guess here could be a nice option. But yeah, of course he does not. No, he does know. He does know. There's stone walls right there. Nothing he can do from that side either. Taking a look at what is someone else doing. Yep, the only action taking place so far is right here on the right side. And even that action is not going to be very effective. Pike massing a little bit further behind. Mr. Yo gonna drop a castle here. And that is going to make sure that there's absolutely nothing that Pike can do from this side. And we've got Imperial Age being clicked now by Zupi. And I'm afraid that we had a drop. Yes, so let's go back. We had a drop, boys. We had a drop. Let's go back. Alright, people, I guess you can follow the discussion right here. A very intellectual discussion with smileys and emoticons. But apparently everybody's in the game room. Nope, someone has just left. Who was it? Halfway, probably not halfway. For Black Forest, game 2, home map of Anadia's boys. The last game 1, Arabia. Dry Arabia, that went for quite a long time too, to be fair. Loads of drops, loads of lag issues, loads of connection issues. As far as I could tell, this was running a little bit smoothly, a little bit more smoothly this one. Unfortunately, we had a drop too, and every time we have a drop, we need to wait like 20 minutes until they manage to get everything fixed again. Hopefully, we're just about to start to continue game 2, Black Forest. Okay, boys, so sorry to keep you guys waiting, but yeah, we're still having some major issues right here. We're still trying to restore the second game after 3 hours of stream, still trying to restore the second game. Having a couple of issues with players not getting the file for some reason. And yeah, I'm afraid this is not being fun for you guys. I mean, I can still stay for 3 more hours, but then I actually need to go. I've got work to do, and I think we will give this one more shot. And if the game starts dropping a lot more, I'm afraid we'll just stop here and stream the recorded games. For now, I'm gonna stick here. I'm gonna stay here and see if they can actually fix this. And if not, I think there's no point in just showing you guys the game room all the time. And no games are taking place, unfortunately. I do realize it's a tough spot for everybody. No one enjoys this. Not the players, not me, nor you guys. But for now, we're gonna stick here. We're gonna stay here for a couple more minutes. Try to understand if they manage to get this game going. And if not, if we're going to witness a lot more drops, and then we just might need to stop here, and we will stream the recorded games at a later point. We'll make sure that there will be no spoilers anywhere, so that you guys can just join later on when we stream the recorded games. But as I just said before, for now I'm going to stay here and just try to understand if the games are actually going to happen. Very small update, people. I would assume you guys are still keeping track of the discussion right here on my stream. And as you can see, all the players have got the restore file, only Hingwa is missing. Apparently, Hingwa is having trouble getting the file. Unfortunately, we are going to hope that that is going to happen in the next couple of minutes. If not, we will have to stop here. There's no point. Just keep streaming the game room. It's not fun for you, not fun for anybody. But hopefully this is going to work. Now, everybody in the game room, we're only having trouble getting the restore file into the Chinese players. Only one of them is missing as far as I could understand from the chat. Working. Let's hope for a positive answer. Come on, tell me yes. Say yes, my friend. Say it. Say it. No, it's a no. Well, it's only one player as far as I can tell. Only Hingwa is missing the file, but he's not getting it for some reason. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think we've got good news here, boys. I think we've got good news. Here we go. The hype is real. We might get a game here. Apparently everybody's got the file. I don't remember being so happy about this ever in my life, but I am. We're actually gonna get a game here, boys. Apparently, if no more Oh my god, I can't believe it. Looks like the game is actually starting. 1.5 minutes to go. Couple of seconds to go, guys. We will be inside Game 2. Game 2 is going to be Black Forest. The game has started already. It's halfway through Feudal Castle Age. Castle Age, actually. And this is the second game in the series. NaBs team called for their home map, Black Forest. They lost the first game, Dry Arabia, to the Chinese team, Old Boys. And really hard to see who's winning this one. We could see Mr. Yo being pushed a little bit by Pike. Pike wasn't able to do a ton of damage. But then again, we would assume that the boom from Mr. Yo is going to be delayed because of that. Let's try to understand how will they cope with that. Only 20 seconds to go. Hopefully this is it. This is the run right now, boys. Hopefully. Hopefully no more drops from now on. Let's hope from now on the stream is going to be smooth as silk. And let's try to understand what's happening right here. We are on the point of view of Zupi. Zupi halfway into Imperial Age. Hopefully the dashboard will start appearing anytime soon. Zupi halfway into Imperial Age. Let me take a look at what is Mr. Yo doing. Look at Mr. Yo. Mr. Yo is up to Imperial Age himself, a little bit further behind. Taking a look at the populations, 69 villagers for Mr. Yo, 81 for Zupi. So Zupi is clearly ahead when it comes to the boom right here. Pike himself got a little bit behind because of this rush. He wasn't really able to do a ton of damage. But probably he didn't even actually need to. A couple of villagers coming on that direction here from Wonder. Looks like Wonder is going to concentrate fully on the left side. A little bit of sling happening here. Looks like all of a sudden Joffrey is the guy playing with Kel. It's a green player. Went for a sling. We're going to go into his point of view. Let me see if it started earlier. Eloisa himself is slinging Zupi. Okay, so this is something that happened at some point through between the games were dropped and a little bit after that, because I couldn't see a sling before. I'm quite sure of that. So Eloisa is slinging Zupi, and that's why he was so far ahead. And Mr. Yo is getting a sling from Joffrey. That's green player. So this would be so good for the NaBs team if actually Zupi is able to spot the castle trying to go up here for Mr. Yo. Those are a whole lot of villagers, so apparently Zupi will not be able to stop it. He's trying to put up a castle of his own. He just lost a whole lot of Mangudai there, to be fair. This was definitely not a successful engagement for him. I'm not sure he will be able to get this castle up, and that would be quite a major setback in my opinion. He's bringing a couple of ramps, but we do know that ramps are not the best thing to do against Mangudai and against Mongols in general. He's still forcing the castle. He's not going to be able to do it. He's just losing so many villages right now. He was even moving the Mangudai all along with the ramps, and this is just a very hard choke point to actually push for him. I'm not quite sure what he's trying to do. He's going to bring more villagers. Are you sure about this? Are you sure about this, Zupi? I'm not so sure, man. I'm definitely not so sure. He's got a couple of rams here. He will be looking into getting them to siege rams. Maybe trying to get that TC down. But these are Mangudai, soon to be elite Mangudai, I would assume so. Imperial Age has been researched by Mr. Yo. Mr. Yo is going to put up a castle of his own right here. I would have actually made it a little bit further ahead to make sure that Zupi has got no chance of completing his. But anyway, I guess a couple of Mangudai, a couple of trebuchets, a couple of mangonels might just be enough to get this castle done with. But meanwhile, treading a little bit is Zupi right here from the back. We've got Wonder coming in with onagers. Those onagers will be siege onagers anytime soon. Wonder, at least when we stopped watching the game, had a very good boom going on. Yeah, you can see he's still got a very good boom, quite far behind Joffrey, but then again, Joffrey's only concentrating on slinging, so he will be making close to 200 villagers, I would assume. That castle from Pike is going to go down. On the right side, looks like this TC from Mr. Yo is going to go down too. He won't be too bothered about it because he's gonna get a very heavy sling from Joffrey. Joffrey is on 150 population, 150 villagers, I reckon. That means all his resources are going into Mr. Yo as far as I can see. Let me take a look at that once more to make sure he's not slinging anybody else. Chinese team... Yep... Only Yeah, Lick's getting a little bit of sling too. Hinghua not getting any sling whatsoever, so apparently only Mr. Yo is getting the sling at this point. The castle is going to go down, that's for sure. The elite Mangudais are not there quite yet for Mr. Yo. They're on the way. You can take a look at the dashboard right here on the top right side. Desperately trying to get down that castle is Zupi right here. He's going to send in the rams. He thinks about it for a second more. Maybe he wants to have them siege rams before he actually tries to engage that. These are going to be elite Mangudai. They're completed already. Unfortunately, looks like the overlay is a little bit delayed right here. That means these Mangudai are going to be able to flatten these rams with no problem. The other problem could be the onagers from Wonder, and he definitely wants to take care of those onagers before they get to siege onagers. Siege onagers are on the way. They're almost there. They should be there now. The spectator overlay shows me that they've been completed, and there he is. He's got the siege onagers on the way now. It's still quite a 2v1 situation at this point. We've got Lix coming in. He's waiting for the Cavalier upgrade to be done. We've got Zupi. He's got a nice amount of elite Mangudai. This is going to be a very, very heavy push, a very important push as well. I'm trying to understand if there's anything happening from this side. No, certain nothing. Looks like Loiza was just slinging, if I'm not mistaken. The castle is going to have a hard time staying up. In the meanwhile, we've got a little bit of a trebuchet fight. Mr. Yo still not able to match the number of Mangudais from Zupi, and he definitely can't do much against those siege onagers from Wonder. They have already their unique technology. It's 105 HP from those siege onagers. This shot could have been major. Mr. Yo was watching it, manages to save those elite Mangudai. He wants to keep them alive at all costs, doing whatever he can to keep that castle alive, but this is it. It's going to go down. The castle is down. I'm not sure that Lix wants to engage this. This feels like a very bad engagement for me. There's a whole lot of Mangudai right there, and a little bit of a hill as well. We've got siege onagers from behind. I think he only wants to get rid of the siege onagers, and if he manages to do that, I guess it would be a little bit of a win already. Yes, good job, good job. He will be able to get rid of them. Halberdier on the way from Wonder as well. There it is. The onagers are down, and this could actually turn out to be a good fight. I'm very surprised at how good it went for the Chinese team. Zupi still with a whole lot more Mangudais, of course. But Mr. Yo still holding on to his position. Looks like he will be able to get one of the trebuchets. Pike helping his teammate. Nicely done here by Pike. Making sure he can repair that trebuchet. Making sure it stays alive. Looks like this time he's just gonna straight ahead to the Mangudai, gonna try to engage them. Mr. Yo suffering a lot on the number of Mangudai. He needs so many more Mangudai. He's got 3 castles as far as I can see. He lost 1. The Mangudai are almost all gone, but I think this is the time where Lix needs to go back a little bit. This is the time where Pike is gonna join the party as well. He's got Cavalier. Eventually, at some point, we will see Paladins from him as well. He's Spanish. And this is all up to Mr. Yo and Lix to hold this push here from the NaBs team that could be very strong. And Joffrey keeps slinging. We'll need to take a look if he's slinging someone else as well. This castle's a little bit ballsy in my opinion. He's going to try to drop it here really close to Zupi. Yo, that is. But I guess Zupi... Mr. Yo does not really have enough army to try to stop this. It's too much for him at this point. He does not match the number of Mangudai. There's Paladins from Lix on the way, that's true. But the number of Mangudai are just not enough for the Chinese team to win this engagement, in my opinion. There is the Paladins are doing the damage. Paladins are doing the damage. The castle goes down. I'm not sure if he deleted it, if he'd actually go down. The Paladins doing really good so far. He needs to make sure that he's going to avoid the shots from the siege onagers being dropped right here from Wonder. But it's too much. It's just too much. It's 3v2 army. It's a 3v2 situation. Very hard for the Chinese team. More and more Paladins coming from Lix. They seem to be doing well when it comes to the score lead. But Mr. Yo needs to be a little bit careful with his Mangudai. He needs to mass them up a little bit more. He's suffering too many casualties here, I feel like. Suffering too many casualties, and that means that Zupi is going to have a major lead when it comes to the raw numbers of Mangudai. Wants to go back a little bit more. And this castle miraculously stays alive for him. He's making another one here at the back. 5 castles, I guess that's enough for a Mongol player, but he definitely wants to have at the very least 4. Maybe trying to repair that one wouldn't be a very bad idea. Hopefully he will do that at some point. Onagers on the way from Celts. Looks like Kids is going to stop slinging, or at least he's going to invest a little bit more in army at this point. Yep, not repairing it, and that means that this castle is gonna go down. A very nice amount of paladins showing up here from Licks. Pike is still not quite able to match those numbers. He's still got a little bit less. Taking a look at what's happening here on the left side, nothing is happening right there. I do wonder what exactly is Hingua doing. He should be looking to joining the party unless he's slinging, and we'll take a look at that anytime soon. This castle is being under fire, and the trebuchet fire. I feel like Licks cannot wait too long. He's trying to mask those paladins, but he needs to take the advantage as soon as he's got the advantage over Pike, because when Pike starts matching the numbers, there's really not much that he can do. He's waiting a little bit too long, in my opinion. Those halberdier are probably scaring him a little bit. It's quite a nice amount of halberdier. He's going to join now. We could see that they are dropping the buildings. Looks like this is going to be the engagement. Mr. Yo will be looking into deleting those palisades, those stone walls, and the big engagement is on the way. I feel like they're still waiting a little bit longer, maybe waiting for the siege onager from Joffrey as well. Joffrey's going to lose those siege onagers. Looks like this is the push. This is the push. Too many halberdiers from Wonder, in my opinion. Licks needs to go back a little bit more. Monks coming in from Hingua. I was wondering where was he all this time along. He's gonna help his teammates with a couple of monks. Are those going to be enough? The castle is gonna go down, that's for sure. The paladins are there from Licks. It's a whole lot of paladins. Very hard to call, very hard to call. A single mistake could cost the game to anyone, but looks like Licks is gonna go now. This is going to be the push. The Mangudai need to follow close, and he needs to bring all of his Mangudai as well, and all the monks need to be there. Siege onagers on the way for Joffrey. Such a close fight as far as I can tell. Not a huge winner. Looks like the paladins from Licks are doing the trick. I see the NaBs team pulling back a little bit more. But what an intense fight happening right here on the right side of the map. Really, really interesting match so far. The Mangudai are there for Mr. Yo, and he's trying to get a couple more. He lost 2 castles, 3 castles in total as far as I can tell. He needs to make sure he gets a couple more castles. More Mangudai are needed. Taking the hill once more, Zupi here with the help of halberdiers from Wonder. I think this is something that the Chinese team is missing, in my opinion. I wish that Joffrey would be doing a couple of halberdiers as well, and no such thing for him. On the other hand, they've got Hingua here. Hingua with a whole lot of monks. These are not fully upgraded monks, but almost fully upgraded monks, but have 95 HP if I'm not mistaken. But they are trying to convert the paladins as far as I'm concerned. The numbers. Oh, this could be a very horrible siege onager shot here for Hingua, just losing a whole lot of monks. He's got a whole lot of them at the back at the same time, though. So it looks like he will be able to survive with a couple of them. Nice job. This castle is quite good here. A little bit aggressive. And Pike needs to mass a little bit more paladins, I feel like, because the paladins are coming in like crazy from Licks at this point. Maybe that was the indication from Pike that he wants his teammates to start push from that side. And that's something that is quite important. Looks like the bomber towers are starting to come up here. That's something very important as well. I'm not sure I like this. Light cavalry from Spain. That means they are hurting for gold. That's what it means, but I don't want to go away from the fight. It feels to me like this could be so important, and it could turn the game upside down any moment. At this point, I feel like a couple siege ramps would be very useful here to take care of those bombard towers. With no siege ramps, especially from Celts desperately needs to start doing siege ramps, in my opinion. Taking a look at what's happening here, we can see Loisa still slinging. Only slinging Loisa, he's still only on Castle Age. And I think he needs to start going up, because at this point it's a 4v3 situation. We've got every single Chinese player involved in the attacks, and Loisa does not have any monks as far as I can see. He does not have any army. Let me take a look at this villager. Yeah, he does not have any army. It's only villagers, and that means that this is a 4v3 situation. Very tough spot here for NaBs, in my opinion. Loisa needs to start doing some army. Yeah, looks like this is the spot where they will try to cut. You can see a siege workshop that it's going to go up here from Wonder. Sneaky attacks are something that can change the game at any point as well. There we go. That's a whole lot of Mangyu die from Mr. Yo at this point. The siege rams are on the way from Celts. That means the push could be very strong from now on. It's still a 4v3 situation. You can see 4 people involved in the Chinese team, only 3 from the NaBs team. Yeah, looking a little bit hard here. Maybe they will try to cut from here as well to make sure that these trebuchets are gonna die. A couple of bombard towers on the way from the Spanish player on the Chinese team as well. That's Lix. Very well done too. And let's take a look at where's the trade. The trade is right here. It's safe for now. It looks like the Chinese team still has got a lot to work until they can get to the trade, but they're pushing slowly but surely. And once those siege ramps from the Celts are gonna starting to show up, it's gonna be really hard here for the Chinese team to be stopped at this point in time. Doing Outpost here is Wonder. I will go into his point of view to try to understand what is he going to do. Wonder, is he doing... Yeah, he's gonna do a couple of siege onagers from that side. He's gonna try to cut there and do a surprise sneaky attack. Good thing for him is the trade is running very close to that spot. So if a couple of elite Mangudai manage to go through here and start shooting at the trade, that could be very, very effective for them. At this point, it's the NaBs team that takes the score lead. But I guess the score doesn't say much at this point. Mr. Yo still hurting for population. I do feel like he needs a little bit more economy. He's only on 110 villagers. That's definitely not enough, in my opinion, for a Mongol player, even though he was getting a sling. The cut is going to start to happen. The cut is going to start to happen. Let me see if the Chinese team... Yes! They spotted it straight away. Nicely done here by the Chinese team. They were able to spot it straight away. I'm just wondering... Only cunning is not really gonna do too much, is it? I'm missing a couple of Mangudai here from Zupi, or a couple of Paladin from Pike. I'm just missing army on that spot, because only cunning is not really gonna help you much, I feel like. And there he goes, the perfect reaction here by the Chinese team. Gonna bring a couple of Paladins, making sure that nothing major is gonna happen from now. The Mangudai are on the way now, a little bit too late, I fear. A little bit too late. The siege onager is gonna be taken care of. And that means the Chinese are going to be prepared from this, and the Mangudai won't have a chance of going in now. Looks to me like Zupi was a little bit too late with that push, in my opinion. I wish he would have been there a little bit earlier. More and more upgrades have been done by these monks from Hingua. Hingua on 90 HP, if I'm not mistaken. A 95 HP would be the highest HP that a Aztec monk can get. Do keep in mind, yeah, looks like they will try to cut a little bit of the trees to make sure they've got a better trade. Nicely done here by the Chinese team. Trade is so important. You can see that the NaBs team has got a very nice line here. It looks like it's blocking a little bit here, but not too bad, not too bad. It's still running sort of smoothly, and this is the time where Zupi actually manages to get in, and there's a whole lot of Paladins from Lix going in that direction. A whole lot of light cav as well, so I'm not sure if those are going to be enough to tackle the Paladins from Pike that is strumming, going in at the same time as well. This could be a very hard spot here for the Chinese team. Doing really well are the NaBs here. Looks like they gave up a little bit on that push. They made sure that there is going to be a stalemate there, and they concentrated a lot more here at the left side. I do wonder, where are the Mangudai from Mr. Yo? Mr. Yo seems to be so low on population all the time. He's trying to go from here. I'm not sure what exactly is he going to try to do with them. Is he just trying to go for the trade? These are not enough Mangudai to try and do something meaningful in the trade, I feel like. At the same time, looks like the Paladins from Lix were enough to get rid of the Mangudai. And Pike is just too far away from that spot in order to be really effective there. Looks like the Chinese were able to contain the damage that could have been done from that side. Siege Onager is down at the same time. Only a couple of Paladins left from Pike. He needs to go back a little bit further. Wants to drop a couple of bombard towers. Very important as well. And it looks like finally they were able to free up the trade a little bit more here, the Chinese team. The markets are going to be done here as well. So their trade is going to be a lot more effective. 150 gold per trade card. That's a very, very impressive amount. Let me take a look at how much gold are the NaBs team. 160. Even better for Pike right here. It's a nice job by the NaBs team, getting a slight but very important advantage. I just started a dock. Where is it actually going to happen? From here, a dock from Pike. This is actually a very good idea, in my opinion. If he manages to get a couple of cannon galleons, that's what he's going to do. It's going to be actually a very good spot to try and hit the trade. Maybe the trade is a little bit too far away, unfortunately for him. Definitely the ones taking the initiative here on the NaBs team. They're going to try and cut from this side. Looks like Hinghua was sort of expecting this, is dropping more and more walls, and unfortunately there's nothing they can do about the water. So nice job here by the Chinese team. The damage had been contained from this side, but Pike coming in with a whole lot of paladins as well. I guess the bombard tower are going to be enough to stop Pike for now, and he won't be able to do too much from that side. Trying to understand what's happening here on this side. Still a little bit of a stalemate. No one's got the advantage. Once more, I wonder, where is Mr. Yo's army? I feel like Mr. Yo needs to have more army. I'm gonna try to understand where are his elite Mengyudai. He's got them right here at this left side. Yeah, okay, I guess I can sort of understand why he's got them there, but I feel like he could have them at a spot where they could be more useful, trying to push somewhere or trying to raid the trade, maybe. Population, though, is gonna go up now from him. That's a good job by Mr. Yo. The damage has been contained right here on the left side. What about the cutting from Wonder? Wonder's still working hard on that. Needs to, seems like he's just stopped a little bit here. Probably doing something somewhere else. The trade is going a lot better now for the Chinese team, as we just said before, and that's maybe why Lix was hurting for gold. He was doing a couple of light cavalry. You obviously don't want to do light cavalry and just waste your pop space when you could be doing paladins. Cannon galleons and regular galleons are made here by Pike. He will be trying to raid a little bit from this side, from the left side, and looks like the big fights have shifted to the right side once more. This is where both teams are going to try and push hard. It's a bit of a stalemate, a whole lot of bombard towers, a lot of army from both players, a lot of monks from Hinghua. Let's see if this Rams will actually be able to do something meaningful. The Paladin, the Mengyudai from Zupi seem to be somewhere totally different. I'm not sure I know what exactly they are. I'm trying to spot them. I don't see the Mengyudai. I don't see the Mengyudai from Zupi at this point. Or are they being raided here somewhere? Nope. No, apparently not. The push is still... Okay, so this is where... And this time I like this a lot more. So the Mengyudai are there. They want to raid the trade. I'm sort of wondering... What? I think there could be an opening here. Wonder was actually able to spot it. The Mengyudai just waiting to get in. Do they have something to stop this? I'm not sure they realize they're being attacked from the very left side. And this should be open now. This should be open. This should be open way, free way for the Mengyudai to just run in and completely destroy the trade of the Chinese team. I wonder, blocking the passage here a little bit for Zupi, but he will be going in from that spot, and oh my god, this could be a very, very important thing for the Chinese, for the NaBs team, and this could be a turning point for the game, the point of no return, even if the Chinese team is not able to stop this. Unfortunately for them, I'm not sure. Yeah, there's a gap here. There's a gap here. Blue player needs to be concentrated on this. I will keep the point of view on this side. Just take a peek at what's happening. Still a stalemate. Nothing is happening from that side. I still see no flares. Still no flares from that side whatsoever. And these are a whole lot of Mengyudai. What are they going to do when they see this? All army from their opponents are so far away. They're only flaring here. No flaring on the left side. Oh boy. Oh boy. If you only knew what's going to happen to you. No one was able to spot this so far, and I think there's a gap. And there is a gap. What is going to happen here? This is going to be so hard for the Chinese team to stop. The elite Mangudai have made it to the tray. There's no army, no nothing that could actually stop this here. It looks like they could be doing some nice advantages right here, some nice advances. But what about the left side here? No one was able to spot this. The Mangudai are free firing at the trade. This is, I feel like this is it. Is there any army that could do something about this? Finally now, Joffrey's the first one to spot what happened here. And, yeah, I feel like this is it for the Chinese team. I feel like there's not much like they could do. Only one siege onager there from Joffrey that's not gonna do anything whatsoever when it comes to stopping the Mangudai from Zubi, and Zubi just completely obliterating the trade from the Chinese team. This is a very, very nice strategic option for the NaBs team. Really well thought in advance. They saw a mistake, they saw a weak point of the Chinese map and took advantage of it, and this is exactly how we expect teams to play in this tournament. No meaningful reaction from the Chinese team at this point. The trade is going down, and there's really definitely nothing that they could do from there. In the right side, they're being pushed at the same time. There's nothing that Mr. Yo can do alone right there. The Rams are going to start pushing there, and Mr. Yo dropping dramatically in population as well, 130. It was never able to be very high for very large periods of time, to be fair. And the Paladins are coming now, but just not enough. Just not enough Paladins. And I would be surprised if there's even going to be any trade cards left for the Chinese team in a couple of minutes. Very, very nice job by Wonder and Zubi right here on the left side of the map. They still did not delete the markets, it feels like. They're making sure they stay inside their markets. Yeah, the Paladins are on the way, but still not enough, I feel like. And at the same time, the push is going strong here, and that's the 1-1. It's the 1-1 Chinese team calling GG, and this is how a very sneaky attack can indeed be powerful and effective. Very nicely done here by the NaBs team. Nicely done. It's the 1-1. They win the home map, and we're gonna go for game 3 home map of the Chinese team. Awesome game right here on